Okay, starting. Let's see. We're streaming. Yep, we are. I think we are. Let's see. Okay. 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 I think it's okay. This is gonna be one funny video.
Wait,
Okay. Everything is being heard perfectly. I think, yes. Sent. Yes, it is sent. Okay, I think we're ready to start.
okay, we're live.
We are live. Are live. My first
Awesome.
live in 3 years, and you're my first guest, actually.
Oh, I'm
So,
flattered.
so let me be a little bit, at least try to be professional. So, welcome everyone, welcome ladies and gentlemen. My name is Helzo, and you're watching Discuss Things. And this is my first live stream on my discussion channel, which is called Discuss Things. As you know, this is probably that it means like it's a discussion channel. I haven't made a discussion yet. This is my first one, so at least now I'm signing off on my channel as being a discussion one. With me is one of my very good friends, Gary G Reviews, who is among a lot of things. She's a YouTuber, she's a fitness and life coach, she is a gamer, and she's a very cool person. And she has an awesome channel that you can view for all reviews, for all advices, and for all live streams and topics discussion, as well as other platforms where you can watch special kinds of videos and gain even more knowledge that you didn't even know you wanted, but you do after you watch it. Hi, Gary.
Hey, Hello. Well, thank you very much for that awesome introduction. I'm happy to be here
I'm happy
and
to
to
have you.
celebrate the channel.
So, my idea for today's stream was the fitness lifestyle, which we've known each other for several, like 5 or 6 years or more, and you've always been in my experience with you as friends that you have been deeply and even more into the lifestyle as our friendship grew. And me, on the other hand, I've never been into the lifestyle on a serious matter because I just have a tad different view. So, what I wanted to do with you is to have a nice discussion about the lifestyle, about the motivations behind it, about what you would say to, let's say, someone like me to motivate me to get more into it, and of course have a nice talk about all the benefits, all the work, all the workarounds and the hardships that one inevitably goes through when they go on that journey.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Where should I start from my journey and how I got into this in the first place?
Yes, that was going to be my first question actually. How did you get into the whole fitness lifestyle? Like I've seen, like I see pictures that you post. You're always toning yourself, getting more muscle, getting into workouts. So you basically, in my view and my perspective, you're very deep into the lifestyle of like on the training side, on the fitness well-being.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, trying to get into shape since I was a teen, and I was on and off laziness, basically. And my determinant yet really found it. It was like, oh, I want to look better. And my father used to work out a lot, and he was a fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Van Damme and Sylvester Stallone, all of these muscular guys. And I was fascinated with them as well, and loved to watch them and admired how they are looking. And then I started being a fan of bodybuilding as well. And I wanted to do the same thing, but in female form, somehow, naturally, though. So I started training, and I always was a lot more a bit more at girl, just more strong. I could kick like three girls' asses at the same time. This was really no problem for me, and some guys even. And all that I needed to do is just develop my physique and be strong, all those things. But I didn't all the reasons why I should get into that shape rather than the fact that it's cool. But with time, with my laziness and like getting into shape, getting out of shape, I kind of got pissed off myself because started also trying different diets, and none of them were like sustainable. They always let me down eventually, and they led to some eating disorders at some point. I tried stuff like keto, the bodybuilding diet, which is the opposite of keto, basically high carb, a low fat diet with high protein. And the keto is obviously high fat, moderate protein, and little to no carb. And that just was disastrous for me, for my hormones. And I had to find some kind of a way to sustain optimal shape while keeping muscle, while losing fat. And throughout those years, I gained a ton of knowledge. I licensed myself as a trainer and nutritionist, and I finally found a way how to keep building a physique naturally as much as possible, and maintaining a very good shape year round, not for a particular summer or anything, but just year round. So, in conclusion, because that's a pretty long story, 5 years ago I discovered intermittent fasting, and with that I was managed to finally cure my eating disorders and like binge eating stuff that I also gone through like 2 months from my life. It was a big struggle, but thankfully I sold, like I said, 2 months, really short time. But with intermittent fasting, I was able to keep my window of eating in a small window. Like first it was 18 to 16 hours, which means in an 8 hour of the day I eat, and in the 16 hours of the day I just don't eat. I just consume something that has no calories, like water, sparkly water, herbal tea, or just coffee, black coffee. And that is mostly how I do things for the past 5 years, with some breaks for holidays here and there, but nothing more than 2 days once every 5, 6 months, nothing more than that. And I eat from time to time things that I do enjoy, depending on hormone levels, but that is for girls mostly, when the period comes and all those things. I can allow myself a lot of sweets without anything sticking to me.
Oh yeah.
So that is also something that I discovered for my own body. But very good lesson from that is that everyone can study their own body and see when you can eat certain things, when it's more responsive to certain foods, when it's not. That takes a lot of time to figure out, but once you do, you can literally stay lean as possible year round and be healthy at the same time, and not go crazy over things that you can't eat because you actually can eat them at certain points. So I also eat sometimes pizza or spaghetti, and yeah, still maintain the same body composition. So there's way to everything, and basically my willpower to get to here took a lot of time, but that is the way to go. I mean, I cannot imagine being out of shape and without muscle and not feeling like a machine every day. So yeah, that's what I can tell you.
Oh yeah, so just listening to that is for me, and absolutely no disrespect, like kudos to everything, but to me sounds tiring and restrictive. Let me explain. So you're telling me like the things you can eat, or you're pretty much allowed, or it's okay to eat, or you can allow yourself to eat at a certain point, and everything else is like strictly monitored depending on what shape you a person wants to be in. And this is my point of view, and again it's just as my way of seeing things, because I do enjoy eating. I don't want to pig. I don't like pigging out, but I do enjoy eating comfortably. Like to have the good taste in my mouth, to eat something that I like. And what, for instance, currently I and have put myself on a certain diet. Like I've cut on some, let's say, pork, bread, and let's say sweets. I've cut on like trying to cut beer and sparkly things, and trying to eat a bit more healthy and training because I do need to lose somewhat because the situation has hit a lot of people very hard. Me, it has hit that I was round all year round, if you know what I mean. And like just hearing that, I can just imagine and I can just feel the struggle that it would be for me to maintain such a thing constantly. And I know that every person that, like every fitness trainer, every healthy lifestyle specialist does that. They're like very strict and very disciplined, and it's like a military discipline, And what you're explaining is the same. And I just want to ask you, how did you, like, because I can't imagine doing that. I can imagine restraining some things or lowering the intake of certain things to a point. However, how do you maintain this strict, um how should I put it? Okay, don't you actually ever like just want to go buy a whole chocolate cake and just stuff your face in it? That's the question, pretty much. Like, how do you resist that? I know that you can do it. I've done it myself, like for a month, 2, 3, and I've actually haven't cheated in that time at all. However, how do you do it for years? How?
Well, the key is to remove what you're used to eating and learn how to replace it with other super delicious things and how to make them super delicious so you enjoy eating them as much as you enjoy eating all of the you will consider cheat foods.
How do
For
you replace
example,
bacon, for
uh,
instance?
bacon, I'm eating other stuff, other meats like pastrami, let's say, that's very lean.
Okay, accept it. I love
I can eat
pastrami.
a lot of that. I can eat
No,
uh,
but imagine
not
like
ham, but
just a barbecue, just having a big fat juicy pork steak. Like I'm just saying it, and I want to eat it. You know,
well,
it's
I eat
crazy.
steaks. I just, if I eat meat like a steak, that's gonna be mainly on Christmas, just because pork is not very optimal in terms of calories, and I'm still gonna be hungry after I eat a steak. So it just doesn't work for me. I need to be satiated all the time. So that kind of a meat doesn't do it for me. I can a beef, which is a lot leaner and healthier, and still eat enough of it and be a lot happier. Or I can buy a horse,
You
a
can buy a
horse
horse,
meatballs,
yes.
and they also do the trick. So I always consume some kind of a lean meat during the week, but it's mostly pastrami, and I put that in a lavash bread
Mm-hmm.
with some quark, sometimes one egg. I just break one egg in it. I stir it, put some ketchup in it, and sometimes mushroom. Basically, I can even put like red cucumber, and I just roll it like a pancake. Put that into the microwave, and it becomes amazing uh, falafel with meat. Something. So that's very delicious thing that I eat every day, pretty much.
Yeah, but like, and again, it does sound delicious, but for me, it's no replace. It's no replace for the original things. Let's say, for instance, yesterday I just ate some barbecued meatballs, like the ground pork, like meatballs, kufte, as we call it
Mm-hmm.
here. And this was the tastiest thing in my life. And then I tried the chicken shashlik, and
Mm-hmm.
like, I do love chicken in certain ways. Like, I do love chicken with rice. I do love grilled chicken. I do love fried chicken, of course. But like, this is it couldn't measure up. And I know chicken is the healthier option in terms
Not
of
necessarily.
well,
Not
if it's a good chicken,
necessarily.
like if it's not water chicken, what they sell us here in the supermarkets. I know. But let's say in general, I know that chicken is the, like, the at least the less uh, harmful option, and it's not that tasty. And I could take chicken for pork. Like, my main point for this discussion is to just show people, because there are a lot of people out there, including me, that can't get into a constant regime of even mild fitness and even mild diets to just keep a, let's say, the BMI score under 25. You know,
Well, okay,
the,
so the key is, like I've said, is to invent other recipes, other alternative to other foods, and just get accustomed to them as you are to everything that you ate thus far in your life.
yes.
So other examples are, for instance, I make like a huge protein cake, which is absolutely delicious. And for example, my parents cannot tell the difference if it's a chocolate, if it's a cake with sugar or not. And one piece has like 153 calories, and for comparison, any regular cake will have 450. So you can eat like three of these, get a ton of protein, and be like full and satiated, because this cake can actually really satiate you as well, and it's super healthy and super delicious in the same time. So that's just one example. There's protein banks that are fluffy and just absolutely delicious, and then they fill you up like Obelix when he eats a huge, boar. And I just have a lot of like three or four meals that I circle around. I have more, but I just, stick to for a few months. I stick to particular types of meals, and then I switch with the same ingredients, switch to something else, then to something else. If I don't just continue eating the same things, and for example, for the hormones and all of the things that I need in general, I eat from 4 to 5 eggs a day. That's absolutely every day. And from these eggs, I make the pancakes, pancakes, I put into the lavage. I eat mandatory one, yogurt that is very low body fat percentage. So the lowest possible, zero point 0.1 yogurt, because I still can get all the protein that I need. And I make that with a bit of cereal, protein, berries like frozen berries, which are super healthy because they're very fastly frozen, and they are really packed with nutrients. They're very low glycemic, low calorie, just the perfect fruit. So I eat that, and I'm getting all my minerals, vitamins, all of that into this yogurt bowl of goodness. And the lavage, the pancakes, and instead of flour, I use pudding, which is the little pudding here. It is absolutely the best in price and calories. It has like 97 calories per 100 grams. It's ridiculously low. So the point is, I make huge volumes of food, and I eat them between 12 at noon and like until 1, or sometimes until 2, depending on if I have to go out or not between that time. But until 4 p.m. at the most, I already eaten all the food of the day, and I don't eat anything else after that. I can drink coffee and other things, but mostly I don't break my fast anymore, and I don't drink anything with calories after that. But I don't see that as restrictive anymore, because I'm doing it for years, and I cannot imagine stuff my face with food after after a certain hour.
Okay, and how
And
long did
I
it take you to not feel it restrictive? Because
well,
this is the whole point. Like, when I was at the, like, you said you don't feel it restrictive anymore.
yeah,
However, that would imply that at one time you felt it restrictive, and it was like a challenge to
yeah, I
keep it.
have to unlearn a
Yeah,
lot of
that
things
that
that I
that's
learned.
that's the thing. That's what I was getting. Like, what would I know the basic motivation. I know, looking better, feeling better. I feel it as well. Like, after a training session, and especially like when you were doing it for, like, in my case, I've again started actively training for 2 weeks, and 2 weeks is not a long time, I know, but I feel better. I feel a lot better about it. And what what I was get is still a challenge. Like I still have to internally motivate myself to do it. It's not something automatic. You know, I don't. I'm not like I'm just even now. I'm still struggling. Uh, Today, can I just skip it today? I'm just gonna skip it today. You know, the little voice inside the head, and it's just like that for many people. I know a lot of people who are like that, who start and drop because it's just like it's not their. It's out of their comfort zone. So um, I'm just
Yeah.
first of all I'm impressed that there are people like let's say who for years are doing just that. I've actually started following some of them, and you're among them who also for years have been doing this and this. And it's probably easier for some people, but it's pretty hard. Let's say for me, it's hard to. I know that if I get to the point where it would feel more natural, I would continue doing it probably forever if I can put it into my um, natural lifestyle of the day. However, getting to that point is extremely difficult, and I don't know if you can like. I know you've been there, like you started there, and I just wanted to ask if you, let's say, for anyone, have a special trick or something, or is it, or there's not, or there's no hope for us.
Well,
Because
I'm one of the most, or I was one of the most laziest people that you can imagine when I was a kid. I just wanted to sit and watch TV. I mean, I wanted to train as well, but like I said, I have not found a definitive reason why I should do it in the day.
yes,
So as I
yes,
grew up,
yes.
and I realized also my physical potential and my body structure that they're very good for bodybuilding. And then I realized all the health benefits. I started learning more about that. I started learning how if you're not, if you're not sustaining your muscle, if you're not building muscle, your bones are gonna get frail a lot earlier, and you're going to get all of those old people illnesses that are connected to frailty and breaking of the hips, all those things. So I didn't want all of that, and I wanted to take care of my body. So the self respect towards my body got over all of the laziness that I ever had, basically. So whenever I feel like I'm tired, like for example, now I was ill for a few days. As soon as I could move, I was on the treadmill. As soon as I could move,
Oh
because
my god. Yeah.
first day I was with 37 and a half temperature for almost 20 hours straight. And at the evening I got a bit better, and I didn't have the temperature anymore. I was obviously still weak, but I couldn't stand it anymore to sit down. So I went on the treadmill and managed to do only 8,000 and a half steps, which is like, I don't know how
Twice
many
as more
kilometers.
than I do usually in the day. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I really wanted to do 10, but yeah, I was just very tired from the temperature for 20 hours. So I did only 8K. Then I had to coach um my boyfriend to do some things as well. So I coached him into lifting a bit. And then I showed him some exercises. So I basically lifted as well. And then that was it for that day. So that was almost 2 days ago now. And yesterday I managed to do 10K, and today I'm almost at 10 now. So after we finish here, I'm gonna go to
Also,
on
I
a treadmill and
shouldn't keep you very long, should I?
have to train.
Have to train.
Gotta go
No time
train
for life. Like, okay, let me
and then
just.
stream too.
Okay, we know each other for years, and we've talked about this a lot of times with you. Like we were colleagues at one time. We've talked about this a lot of times, and here is my point of view. Like, I actually remember one of our conversations, and I told you, I sent you actually some pictures of men, like not muscular, but for me, very well built, like not bulk or something. And I remember your reaction. You were like, this is nothing. This is just stage one. This is absolutely nothing. And for me, I'm looking at it. Am I ever going to look this good? Yeah, the difference in our views of like what consists of because I do have a belly now because and I'm working on it. I've never been heavier in my life, in my whole life, and I'm currently working on it. I am taking some serious steps this time. Uh, Again, also for the first time in my life, and what I want, like, let's say my goals for being good. I want to basically be if I can put it in a little bit more like scientific or fitness, I want to be within my BMI because I'm not within my BMI. I'm 2.6 above my BMI, and my fitness app on the phone is saying, "What are you doing, you fat piece of fuck?"
Well, the BMI is not very objective thing. I mean, if
I
you have
know.
more muscle, you can be above your BMI a lot, but you'll
I know, but
be muscular.
I also have body fat indexes and everything. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have that scale, and yeah, I'm fat, and I'm just like Weird Al Yankovic because you see, I'm fat. You know it. So
Well, uh, well, you see, how to put this? So basically, if you want to get into shape in any case, you just have to re rewire your brain into be like I'm like David Goggins.
no, no. What I wanted to ask you actually, just to finish my, because you are on the muscular side
I
of
didn't hear you
things.
because my Pomeranian decided to bark right
Is
now.
it there?
Can
Is
you
it there? I
repeat
want
that?
to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it.
Hmm?
I want to see it.
The Pomeranian?
Yes.
Well, had to pick him up.
The dust swiper.
Okay, hold on a sec.
All
Then
right. We're having some
hold
technical.
on, hold on.
Folks, we're about to see something very nice. It's a bit of a digression from our conversation, but still, it's good. You will not be disappointed. And am I gonna actually make it? Now! Eh, I almost got it.
I mean, we are
3,
appearing.
2, 1. You're not appearing.
Hmm.
You're still not appearing. Oh, you appear.
Here I am.
It's a papa. And it's chewing on your arm. It's hungry.
It's a baby gold. Kissing me.
It's basically a bowl of hair. It's like it's actually like you stole someone's wig and it mutated.
Well, he's just a baby boy that is not fluffy yet.
What if you drop him in a bubble bath with fluffening shampoo and he becomes like cotton candy?
Well, he doesn't have enough fur for that yet. He's like a baby lion that
I can actually hear
hasn't.
him licking your hand.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
he's
Uh,
one with me all the time.
yes,
So,
he's the
what
swarm.
was the question now?
So my question is, because I know that you're on the more like you're not on the tone side like most girls, even most people, but you're on the more muscular side. You're actually building muscle, and I've seen your bodybuilding pictures, your progress pictures. You're on the muscular side of the body.
Yeah, on the Wonder Woman side.
Yeah. Okay. So how would you? I mean, it's one thing to be like tone, slim or fit or just well put, and the other thing is to go beyond that, like you do, like in my opinion, you're doing. Like you're going beyond what is like the not the minimum, but what is let's say healthy or normal. So when let's say you're a licensed coach now, right?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So let's say, do you primarily okay, I'm having my own.
Kitty.
It's a cat.
It's a kid. Yes.
So do you apply this, like, let's say when you're having talks with someone who let's say reaches out to you, do they want to do this the same, or do they mostly want to be toned and just slim or lose weight?
Well, well, first of all, there's no such thing as toned in general. I mean, you cannot tone a muscle. You're either building the muscle or you're just not building it.
No, when I
Uh,
mean tone, I mean just like fit or something. Like I'm using what I've read like as words.
well, that basically means just a bit like the minimum amount of muscle to not be loose and your hands to not be shaky when you move
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go with that.
Well, my philosophy behind all of this is to practice, bodybuilding. So, meaning what is possible in a natural way to build my physique to the most of
To its
extent.
maximum. Okay, so
Yeah, the maximum
this
extent.
is your goal, like to be at your max.
Yeah, because the more muscle you have, the the better your immunity, the better your longevity chances. Everything that's connected to health, even resistance to cancer, a lot of that is connected to the muscle for the old age and ability to do all kinds of athletic things and just feel totally different. Basically, when you have muscle, you just feel totally different and a lot more capable at any given moment. So for me, it's extremely important to be as muscular as I can because I can literally lift so many things, my own weight and more. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for me to want to not build muscle because I can get um, you know, looking like a man anyways because I'm natural. So the better, the more muscle I have, just the better I'm gonna look in general. And I'm not one of these girls that are going to build a lot of muscle just because I'm different structure. I'm very feminine, so for me to have some kind of a definition, I have to work even harder, I mean longer, to achieve a certain definition. Although I have the muscle, but my muscle belly is also more long rather than short, so my muscles don't look as defined as, let's say, some other girls that are just more flatter and they just have this shorter muscle belly. So muscle belly shape is also very important. It is not equal to how much muscle you hold, but it's just the shape of the muscle that creates this illusion. But I'm more round because I'm more feminine. So I gotta get as much as muscle like as I can in order for me to see that I have muscle. And
So
that's the other thing.
so
So that's
base
both a blessing and yeah, because I still look feminine whatever I do.
yeah. So basically, that's how you like that's how you have viewed yourself, and that's how you want it for yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. If you hear a bumping sound, my cat is very, very, very pushy today.
No, I don't hear anything. My puppy may be hurt a lot more because yeah, he's him.
I actually don't hear anything from him. He's very quiet boy.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
So yeah, okay. This is basically the what I was going for. Hi. No, that was not what I was going for. Not being head bumped by a cat. Okay,
He's a he's
it's eating my nose. But yeah, like it's important for me. Like in my perspective, it's important for such discussions to be held, not just like by me and you, but with everyone, because there is, I think, a lot of, especially now after 2 years of this situation, I think that there will be a lot more people who want to be in shape, and a lot more people simultaneously who have given up in total because of what has happened in those 2 years. And for me, it is good to have such a discussion and such reveal, and probably something more of a targeted at people who either have given up or just don't want to even start, just to not only list the physical benefits, like the appearance benefits, because a lot of people I I know don't actually care about that. Like they really don't care that much. They just want to be like there is something that a friend of mine told me. I just want to be easier to walk around than to jump over. That's his goal for a body. As long as he's easier to walk around than to jump over, that's good for him. If you
So,
can imagine it, like being. I'm just looking at your face and just you're like brain loading, cannot comprehend.
uh, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I gotten over so much of myself to get to how I look now, and I know that it's hard, but as long as you go step by step and you never quit, things are just happening, and you are teaching yourself how to be disciplined, and you know when to eat stuff eventually, and you can eat stuff that you want, and you can. It's not like I'm eating the same stuff every single day, but I don't have break day or something like that. I mean, I have that, but then I also walk and train to compensate, and then I lower my calories the next day. I mean, there's so many strategies that one can do. As long as you know what you're doing, you can be in shape all the time. But you have to start and go step by step without overwhelming yourself until you reprogram yourself to actually do that lifestyle. So if you're trying to do a lot of things at once, you will fail. If you try to do a particular diet, you're gonna fail. Just one, like if you have to remove a food, just remove it one food at a time, and then introduce something else. Learn other recipes, but all of that has to like be one by one because otherwise you will fail. So the best course of action is to start, but first learn as much as you can about yourself, your body as well. Are you getting bloated if you eat beans, for instance? That's it's also important information. Everything is important. Which foods are more satiating to you, which are not. And in general, protein is more satiating than anything. So then, what kind of a protein? Is it is it plant protein? Is it vegan protein? And spoilers is animal protein. That's just the better protein. What to do with full amino acid profile and all of that. So there's just a lot of knowledge here. There's just so much to know about food and your own body and how to combine it, how to make these recipes easy, quick and easy. Because I don't have a lot of time. I'm a super busy person, so I have to meal prep every day at noon, and I have to eat it right away. So while while I'm prepping one thing, I'm already eating it, prepping the next thing, and then prepping the pancakes, eating that too, coffee with milk, and I'm done. And that saves a lot of time, during the day. So if all's good, I'm going to eat and cook for hour and a half, and I'm gonna be done for the whole day. So it's super optimal way of doing things, basically. And even if I get hungry during at night, I can always have a decaf pure coffee, and that 99% of the time that totally destroys my hunger. And if I'm still hungry for some reason, I'm just gonna lift weights, and that also helps to destroy the hunger. So if you're hungry, lift
Lifting
weights.
weights helps destroy the hunger.
Yeah, I'm not hungry anymore. Even if my blood sugar drops, which almost never happens.
I can
But if
imagine
I'm
that.
yeah, but if I'm like lower in calories more than I'm used to, let's say that I'm like 200 calories less that I usually am, I'll be feeling pretty hungry. But if I'm drinking the decaf and if I start lifting weights, I'll be like no hunger at all, even fixing my blood sugar if that drops, so I don't actually have to stuff my face with anything. So yeah, a lot of knowledge and a lot of strategies for different circumstances, and then you're waking up and you see that your waist is like this, and your shoulders are like this, and your your back is triangular, and everything is awesome. So yeah, it's
But
just amazing when you see the results and you know that everything that you're doing is helping you. What to tell you? But it's just long, long, long process, and you have to really think as David Goggins, who just loves his not comfortable zone, basically. So when I'm tired and I don't want to do it, and this voice in my head that you mentioned says, let us now skip this." I used to have that, but now it's more like I don't care how you're feeling. You have to get up and live this, and I'm like, makes sense. I'm gonna do it.
yeah,
So yeah, that's my new
it
voice.
makes sense if you can do it. I mean, this was going to be my last question, and I just want to ask it now because it's tightly connected to what you're saying. Um, One thing, like, what would you say to, let's say, someone, not me? You've probably said it to me if you said the same thing, but Clinton is here. Hi,
Hey, Kaiten.
hi, welcome to the stream at this hour. What would you say to someone who is basically just wants to start, but you can just see it in their eyes that they don't want to, like that they're not there, they're not ready to commit very heavily, but they just want to start. How would you tell them to what to do, the right thing to do to have a sip of it, like let's say a taste of what it could be, so that they can get more hooked? Because I'm going to explain why I'm asking that question. Because a lot of, let's say, in the past, I've seen fitness programs and etc. And I've researched and I've heard fitness programs like they're going like crazy from day one. I've been to a fitness program like I think 7 or 8 years ago. And it was like day one is like you're in the army. Push-ups, and I couldn't leave the gym. I couldn't climb the stairs after the training session. And of course, like I went 3 times and I was just nope. I'm not built to withstand constant pain. And because that was what I was feeling for an entire week, and I didn't feel anything else. And it would, like for someone like me then, it would have been much better to have something to introduce me, like let's say something lighter, or a regime that I would be. It would not be too hard to follow, but it would be engaging enough to get me started before I get hooked, like with everything. So, what
Mm-hmm.
would you, for someone like that, what would you, like, just say 2 things, 2 or 3 things to do, let's say for 2 weeks, for them to do it for 2 weeks, so they get hooked.
Well, first, a lot of fitness programs they are just based on very very not sustainable practices. So a lot of people quit really really fast, and that makes them dependent on trainers, which is kind of the point of all of those programs. Like for instance, I tried P90X before. That's one of the most famous programs by one of the most famous trainers, like celebrity trainers, but that time, and it's so extreme that you can't even like do half of it without feeling like you're gonna die, and that's actually really really unhealthy, and it can kill you if you're not well, if you're not prepared for it, and it actually drains the nervous system and so on. So a lot of these are like that, and they are really make you dependent. And then the other thing, like I said, not healthy, not sustainable. No one's gonna do that. And that guy is rich, famous, and has a lot of devices in his home now, and he's not doing that program because he knows very well that that's
Yeah.
not what going to get you your body or your health or anything like that. So yeah, that's first. Then what I would say, I would advise anyone, custom in a custom way because anyone has different. I mean, yeah, everyone has different background, how much they train, and all those things. So fitness coaching and starting you on that path is going to be very, very individual. That's kind of the point. So there's no thing like one size fit all. But I would say if you're not making a lot of steps, you have to do the steps because that is one of the best ways to do cardio and saving your nervous system and actually prolonging the burning of calories even more because it's a steady paced cardio rather than the extreme version of cardio, which is not the best one. It could be useful, but you have to do it at very small intervals because otherwise it's again very straining on the nervous system. But steps, anyone can do steps. So start with steps and always take the stairs. Don't take elevators. Walk as much as possible and start with that. Walk as much as possible. If you have a treadmill, go on the treadmill and try to do like first 5,000, then 6,000, then 8, and then 10 should be like the you know the best possible option. But still, I mean, you have to reach 10. Eventually, maybe make it 12, depending. Once again, it depends a lot on everything that you eat and do you work out on top of that? Do you not? So, like for instance, I want to eat more, so I do more things. And when now I have the most muscle as I ever did, so now I can eat more, get away with more, and still look great. But that is also something that comes with the time. The more muscle you build, the more you can eat. But once again, it takes a lot of time. But yeah, if you start, just start with steps. And if you can sustain a few months with steps, then see how you can fit into the schedule some resistant band training instead of weights, because that can be something to be implemented very easily at the beginning.
Yeah, for
And then
basic
after
resistance.
you reach some strength with bands, you can do tons of exercises with them, like for back, all the hands, basically most of the body, even squats if you know how to do that with bands. Then you can implement also weights and body weight exercises. So just introduce new things into your schedule one by one. And if you have the desire for it, you're going to figure out how to fit that into your day, whether that be night, day, middle of the afternoon, just whenever you can. But start with the steps first. That's always like a staple of physical activity and the fitness lifestyle in the first place. And it is the easiest thing to implement.
Okay, yeah, that actually sounds doable for most people, especially like a lot of people will now be returning to offices and etc. The weather is becoming nice again, so they'll be able to do it. Uh, yeah, that's actually pretty much what I wanted to conquer as topics because as I actually started saying before I was cat interrupted like now is that a lot of people will have lost like any motivation, while the other half would have even more motivation to be better. And in order to not have that gap in those people, is like I think it would be important to have such discussions, such let's say reveals, such talks, such let's say absolute beginner style what to do to simply keep yourself in shape. And I think like that there are clips like that, a lot of it, but I think that there should be as much as possible, like everyone who can do it or does it should do it. And one thing that I would like to see more, because for me what it actually helped me uh, get into, like even before my current one, every time I wanted to get into some training, what helped me really much, very much, is just searching up a video of someone who videotapes their progress. Like let's say someone who's completely out of shape and
Mm-hmm.
just starts to videotape their progress and just makes a compilation video of their progress, of what they're doing, what they're studying with, their failures. Because when there's something like for me personally, the visual representation is very important. And when I see someone who is supposed to be showing me something and they do it perfectly, and then I try to do it and I fail, and I say it's easy, It's not something very motivating for me. And when I see someone who's, let's say, out of shape or even very out of shape, and they just start doing it, they show the failures, they show how they cannot do it. DDP yoga actually has such clips that motivated me in the past. And this is something for me that should be everyone who decides to get into shape, for me, should videotape themselves like that, and if they're feeling comfortable, to just put those clips on the internet for everyone to see. So because when a lot of more people see it actually happening to someone, like they see it, like let's say you have a 10-minute clip for a 6-month training regime, and they start, let's say he's 180 180 centimeters tall and he's 120 kilograms, let's say he's fat, he's
Mhm.
very fat, and he starts and he does it, and they're showing him first month, second month, third month, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, weighing ins, getting better at every exercise, getting better, getting slimmer, and just the final result, like after 6 months, uh, let's say he's dropped 30 kilos or 20 kilos and he's gained a lot of muscle mass. This for me needs to happen more, especially after the situation we have been after the COVID, because there will be a lot of people that will search for it, and it will be something like an initial motivation, and then they can go to training regimes, they can go into nutrition regimes, uh, life hacks for not very expensive but still good nutrition diets, because a lot of the nutrition diets ultimately bump up your expenses a lot, because you need to get these goji berries that are 5 level for a single grain. I'm exaggerating, of course. These things for me are something very important to reach to the majority to the great majority of people to have.
Well, yeah, and that is, I mean, that with the expensive thing is also something that leads on a lot of people to think that really is expensive, but actually, most of those things and goji berries and full grain stuff you don't have to eat at all. They're not absolutely
Yeah,
necessary. My personal diet is super cheap, like so cheap that it's unbelievable, really. So I mean, I before actually I gained weight at some point, and that was the wake up call for me when I gained weight. That was like 5 years ago. I ate only those things with the full grains and like ancient wheat and whatever, and that's how I gained weight because I thought that if I eat healthy things, that's going to help me lose weight and not gonna gain weight because they're healthy things, but they have the same amount of calories as everything else, so it doesn't really
it
matter
doesn't
at
work like
all.
that. Yeah, and a lot of people actually do think like that.
Do things like that?
Yeah, like what you just said. A lot of
Yeah,
people do think like that. They don't do like uh, they just eat healthier, like let's say, and eat a little bit less,
yeah.
and they're wondering why is nothing happening.
Mm. It is because you have to look at the freaking calories. That's what
Yeah,
really matters. The
because
calories. So if you eat white bread, let's say, instead of dark bread, they have the same amount of calories. It doesn't matter if one is brown and one is not brown. I mean, there's gonna be more fiber in the brown, but that's
but
not
it's the
gonna
same
help you at
calories
all.
nevertheless.
Yeah, the same thing. So the point is just how the same way I figure out to replace flour with pudding, low calorie pudding, the same way you can replace other things with other things, and it's going to be double the amount of food
With
for
the
the
same calories.
or no, actually it's 2 or 3 times less the calories.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Or so it goes even beyond that.
Yeah, it can go really, really beyond that. There's so many things that you can do with. Even let's say I am doing egg whites, like a egg whites cakes of sorts, like a cake, and
Yeah.
it's not small. It's like 20 centimeters, like this thick, and it's I don't know how many, like 200 at tops calories, even less, and it's like woo, this kind of a dish. And if you eat anything like that that's regular, it's gonna be 400 and something calories. So yeah, and it's still super delicious. So once again,
Yeah,
replacing and knowing how to be a kitchen genius.
yeah. That's again that is the kind of thing that needs to be, let's say, especially for me, after the whole COVID thing. Uh, for me, this is something that should run instead of commercials on TV. That's how I view it, because the discussion here is from between me and you is that I'm not on that page that you are as a lifestyle. However, I do appreciate it, and I do know, and I am making effort to at least better myself as much as possible in the lifestyle that I'm living in, and I'm like without changing completely. Uh, and I think that a lot of people would like to have something like this, and I do believe that if more information is put out, they'll find more things to connect to, and of course, that will help them. At least more people be even a bit healthier, leaner, and just feel better about themselves. Because everyone knows that body image, like how you view yourself, how you look, is very important to self-esteem, to your mental health as well, and it really help. It will help when you have more free and even like not even have to search that far for information.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like me that cover these things. I wouldn't say they're all Getty approved, but all my coaching is now at OnlyFans, and all my recipes are at OnlyFans, just because I decided to give my knowledge to people that actually really want it. So there's that.
Yeah,
But on YouTube, you can listen to how Greg Doucette is explaining things, because he has a lot of replacement types of recipes that are pretty good. I tried them, some of them. Uh, Others I perfected a lot better than him, because he's doing, for some reason, all of his recipes are like directed towards men in terms of the calories, because if I eat that, I'm still gonna be hungry.
yeah.
So I need
It's just a tad
more.
difference of what we eat. Just a tad difference.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just need recipes that are even lower in calories, but with larger volume. So some of his things I can change to fit me, but still the principles of how you should make food is just perfectly presented within his recipe. So it's a great, like a compass towards Greg from that side. And there's other channels like that as well. I just watched this guy Stu Murray on YouTube, and I found out that he died today or yesterday, which
Oh,
was really shocking for me. But he was a young guy that made all these optimal recipes. Also, great
okay.
idea. So yeah, the point is to learn the principles of these things, and then you're going to save a lot on food. Actually, it's going to be the opposite way. You're going to save a lot on food.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Something else that I wanted to say, but I forgot. It was kind of important. What did we talked about? You said something that was good. Damn it! I forgot my thoughts. What was
You
it?
need steps.
Steps. Yes.
You
Steps.
get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we said most of the things, but the point is, for each and every one of us, we have to all figure out why we're doing it. I had such a video on OnlyFans to find your why, and when you find that, you can't really argue against it. So you just have to do it,
Yeah.
and then finding other people that are also finding their why and doing the same thing that you're trying to do is really really motivating, of course. And I found David Goggins like a year ago, and I was very, I was relating to him a lot, because although he is extreme, a lot more extreme that I think it's needed. The principles of how he acts are what is actually important here, which is to get out of your comfortable zone and to learn how to thrive in the uncomfortable zone. And because you're seeing the results, you see that that makes a lot more sense to be a stronger person mentally and physically rather than to be a couch potato. So
Yeah.
if, so you just see the contrast between the two, and you have to make the decision to be that stronger person mentally and physically, because that is developing a lot more qualities in you that are mental and just spiritual qualities. Is not just about the physical. A lot of people think that this is only for vanity, but it is not. It's just that good looks is something that follows because you're just taking care of yourself,
Yeah, and it
but it's not
helps.
the sole reason. You
Yeah.
are still creating willpower, mental strength, durability, and it's a reward for you to get to be in that zone and train. Is like a meditation almost. I mean, with time it becomes like that. It becomes like the air that you breathe. You really want to do that and feel good and awesome and see the progress, see that you're keeping up with that, feeling good about the fact that you're not betraying yourself, and you're respecting yourself, and you're respecting also your significant other, let's say, who sees that you're building yourself, and that makes them also motivated to do the same, and you're helping each other doing that as well. There are just a lot of things that you're keeping yourself together and helping other people keeping themselves together. So for me, that's also motivating. When I coach people, because they're also achieving things and they say how I changed their lives forever, and I'm like, that's amazing. That's not something that everyone can say, that they change someone's life for the better, and years later they're still keeping up because of you. I mean, because what you taught them. And by the way, Clayton here and dear Ivy also benefited a ton, and Clayton is shredded for like more than a year now. He is like a Greek statue,
Good on you.
so I'm super proud
Nice.
of him. He's doing the fasting, the eating, the training, only with bands, mind you. But I told him well, so he is like super lean with the
Send
veins
pics.
on his abs. I'm
Send
super
pics.
proud, super proud. And
Good on you.
Ivy also implemented the fasting, and he said that he's very happy. I mean, yeah, Ivy, you can confirm in in the chat, of course,
I'm
and dear
sure.
Clayton can. Um, one of my Primarchs, because those are two of my Primarchs. I have one more, Mati. He is 56 now, and he is struggling with weight for years, and he has a lot of illnesses, one of them diabetes. And I managed to get him out of the meds completely at some point, cure him out of depression and other things that are personal stuff. So I'm like a doctor, I can talk about everything. Between me and my people, but he got rid of so many things, and he can't even believe it because he said that he had so many nutritionists and doctors, and no one managed to make him change at all. But now he is like around 15 kgs down, and he's feeling better than he did before. So we are on our way to like delete diabetes, hopefully someday. So I'm like humbled by this, and not only extremely happy, but I don't have words, and this is very motivating, you can say. Very. And yes,
I can
there.
imagine what is like if you help someone like in that way, and if you help them better their lives, it must be very fulfilling as to you as well, and it's a very good thing to be doing that.
Yes, and Ivy is saying now, indeed, dears Gary, I wouldn't even think of fasting if not for Gary those years ago. Uh, Clayton is humbled. This means so much to me. Thank you. It means super much to me. Thank you, dear Clayton. Ivy says I was eating mainly bread and rice
Yeah,
after the army. Wouldn't gain fat back then, but after I did my time, I go fair amount of weight. Thanks to Gary. I
yeah,
lost
probably
20. Lost? You mean?
lost. Yeah, he probably
Lost
lost. He,
fasting alone.
I wouldn't imagine that he lost 20 kilograms, but
Wow, that's a lot. What's more, that only helped getting back in shape after I ruined my knees for 2 years in an operation when I did reserves.
So yeah,
Yeah, dear.
that's really good because especially if you have some injury or something, it could, let's say, just immobilize you for or even be make you incapable or very hard to train, and that would also deter a person's motivation. So that's a very nice thing to that has happened to Ivy.
Yeah. So, uh, I mean that is one of the things that it's like my calling to entertain and teach. So yeah, a lot of motivation. You can say
Excellent,
enough of that.
and it's a good thing, I would say, that there are people like you. That's actually everything. I guess I don't like I can't say anymore because it has to be experienced for me.
Yeah,
Okay,
it has to be.
thank you. Like really, thank you. This was unexpected turn for the talks. I actually am surprised, but in a very good way, that the discussion turned out so well. I'm very glad that my first discussion was on this topic because it's something that it's prevalent in a lot of people's lives, and I'm happy to have had you as my very first discussion guest on this channel. Because I've been calling myself discuss things for 5 or 6 years, and I've never had a single discussion. If you exclude the streamings that we had with you that were on your channel,
Mhm.
uh, so what I want to say that this is this has been a very nice experience for me. Thank you for being, and thank you for doing what you're doing. What I want to say to everyone who would watch this video is go visit Gary G's channels, every channels, every platform, and you can see for yourself what she's doing. And back to you.
Thank you. Well, guys, yes. If anyone that watches this wants, just I have a lot of channels, but I can't support them. So only my main channel, which is Gauge Reviews, and everything that I do in terms of coaching, sex education, fitness, health, nutrition is at my OnlyFans. So yeah, you can find me personally and talk to me there.
Do it! Do it! Or
Thank you, guys.
I'll start making more videos. That's how I put the fear with them, because it's gonna start just popping my videos on their feed, and they're like, I cannot get rid of this guy.
You can do it. Just do it.
Yes. I'll just make 5 second clips of blinking intensely, and probably gonna have eyelid muscles.
Make a TikTok of that. Bleeding intensely. Bleeding. I'm not bleeding.
Ble- I can bleed intensely, but it's gonna be only once.
Don't mind me. I'm still sick. Sick delirious a bit.
Yeah, no worries. It's been a weird week. All right, so thank you very much again. This is the end of the stream. Thank you for Ivy and Clinton to for joining us. I see that there have been some people watching. Hopefully, they're also enjoying the stream. And that's it for me. Any last words?
Well, guys, just think about your why and just do it.
Your wife?
Your why.
Ah, your wife. Okay.
Yeah, why are you gaining, gaining? Do not gain weight. Why are you getting into shape? Yeah, that's it.
I could not have. This is the perfect ending. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, Gary. And cheers and be fresh.
Bye, guys.